Hello everyone, welcome to the Stretford View, my new Manchester United channel where I will be discussing everything Manchester United. It's the first day of the Premier League season and it is yet another loss. Disappointed but not surprised. So going into this match, I was actually really excited after last year's Europa League final where we lost to Tottenham in a final, which is just, I don't even want to think about that right now because I'm actually not too... I'm annoyed we lost today, but the actual performance was one of the best I've seen in the Premier League from us against a big team in so long. There was lots of positives to take. There was a few negatives, obviously. One important thing I want to note is that I actually thought Arsenal were really poor today. Like, really, really poor. Especially for their standards and how well they've played in the last few years. Not just against us, but against teams in the Champions League and in the Premier League. They finished second 3 years in a row, which is very funny, but also it shows what good of a team they actually are. We are so far behind them. We have a new project under Amorim. He's had like 40 games. It's been a terrible 40-game run, but today I saw some signs that we might have hope in the future. It's very premature. There's still lots of work to be done, but there is light at the end of a very, very dark 18-month tunnel that Manchester United have been in. Pretty much since Ten Hag's second season, actually. It's really kind of gone from bad to like the worst thing possible, which was last season's Europa League final. But there was a few positives today. The two positives I really liked was Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo? I think it's Mbeumo, but I've said Mbeumo for so long that I might just say Mbeumo. Yeah, those two were really bright. The first 25-30 minutes, Cunha wasn't really in the game. Mbeumo was kind of our out ball. Mount was playing lots of balls over the top to him. I'll get onto Mount in a minute because I was really impressed with Mason Mount. But Mbeumo looked dangerous. He's really good at creating separation. He just didn't get the clean strikes off. He was dragging a few shots and he was taking extra touches, but he was a bit of a chance magnet. And for those who don't know, a chance magnet is a player who just seems to have things fall to him. The antithesis of the chance magnet is Rasmus Højlund, who never gets any chances and is looking like he's actually going to leave and go to AC Milan, which is good. Højlund's first season, very promising. Second season, useless. We don't have time to wait for a player who is that underdeveloped, and hopefully the big Slovenian who came on the second half, Sesko, can be the main guy for us. But that's neither here nor there right now. But the main thing is that we looked like we had a chance of scoring today, especially in the first half. I thought Arsenal were quite comfortable in the second half. There was a few kind of scrappy moments where there was bodies on the line and tackles going in. On another day, we might have scored one or two. One of those scrappy goals, Raya made an amazing save from Cunha in the first half. I thought Cunha's ball carrying was so promising. The way he kind of burst through challenges and burst through that Arsenal midfield running at the back four. It looked so promising. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. He's a big signing. He's a big personality. But he looks such a strong ball carrier, which is something that we don't really have through the middle of the pitch anyway. We have decent touchline ball carriers, so Mbeumo and Ahmad look good at ball carrying. But our midfielders like Bruno, Mount, Casemiro, Ugarte. I've lost to say about fucking Ugarte, let me tell you now. But anyway, through the middle of the pitch, we have good passers of the ball who can break the lines and play a ball over the top. But Cunha can drive through that middle, which will be so good in transition going forward throughout the season, so I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. He was unlucky not to score. That one in the first half where he ran through the middle of the defence and hit the shot that Raya saved, that was unlucky. It was a good run, but he couldn't get the finish, unfortunately. And then the one where Raya got down to his left-hand side when Cunha kind of burst on the left side of the box and hit at the far corner. Amazing save from Raya. He fully deserved the man of the match today. Unlike our goalkeeper. When I found out today that Onana was not going to be playing, I was like, okay. I don't rate Bayindir either. I think Bayindir last season, his distribution especially, was so bad. But when I think of Bayindir and I think of Arsenal, I think of that save in the FA Cup last year from the Ugarte penalty, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. But oh my god, what a terrible goal to concede. Like, 13 minutes in, Arsenal's first corner of the season, all they do is corners. Corner spam, corner spams, corner spam. I'm salty, I get that, but it's true. They just do corner spams. And, yeah, so weak from Bayern. Like, people were saying, oh, Saliba was doing well to, like, block him off and stop his momentum. Saliba barely did anything. Like, Bayern got to the ball, and he just pushed it over De Ligt's head, who tried to clear it away, and then Calafiori came in and knocked it home. It was just a really terrible goal to concede. But in fairness, one thing I can say is the goal we lost to was completely down to one individual error. So it wasn't like it was a mixture of lots of people making errors that led to the goal. It was one player, the goalkeeper, who fucked up massively and cost us today. Now, football's not that simple. If Arsenal didn't score that corner, I'm sure they would have created more chances than they did. They were quite comfortable sitting in. And that's one thing where we did play well, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because I thought Arsenal were actually really poor, like, for their standards. Like the Arsenal of 2 years ago, 23-24 season, if they came and played our team today, they would have won comfortably. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I'm kind of going on a ramble here for kind of my general thoughts. I'm going to try to get a bit more specific and pinpoint specific things I noticed in the match as well. Mason Mount. I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot this guy existed. It's his third season at United. He's been marred by injuries. When he's played, he's always felt like him and Bruno are a bit too similar. And I'm going to come on to Bruno as well, because we have a big problem with midfield, I think, this season. Might be our biggest problem this season, midfield. But Mount was brilliant today. He ran so much. He's a very intelligent footballer. He picks up really good positions and space. Works so hard as well. That last man tackle on Saka in the first half, where Saka tried to cut inside and Mount tackled him, that was amazing. Saka is one of the best one-on-one wingers in the world. He's so hard to dispossess. He's so wiry and strong, and he's got that core strength. He's hard to get the ball off of, and Mount did amazing there. He played a couple of beautiful balls over the top to Mbemo as well in the first half. And yeah, I thought Mount was really, really good. I think we all knew he was going to come off for Sesko, because in that first half we really lacked a box presence. Cunha and Mbemo and Bruno were linking up nicely, and Mount, but there was a few times in the first half where Dorgo and Dalot were put in behind and they cut it back. The box was completely empty. There was no 9 presence. So in my head I was like, Mount is having a really good game, but he's going to have to come off here because we need Sesko on the pitch. We need a number 9 on the pitch. And Sesko did come on. And Sesko was, he didn't really do much. He won a couple of duels. He had a nice back heel flick to Ugarte, who I will come on to. I can't put into words this. Watching Ugarte today, that was one of the worst cameo performances I've ever seen off the bench. And like, Casemiro was fine today. He wasn't bad, he wasn't great, he was just decent, solid. But Ugarte, oh my god. My least favourite genre of footballer is the momentum killer. The player who kills his team's momentum. We had momentum in the last 15 minutes of that game. We had kind of pinned Arsenal back quite well. And then you have Ugarte making stupid fouls when Arsenal players had their back to goal, and he was nibbling when he didn't need to nibble and killing all our momentum. Then he passed it back to Havertz one time. He didn't look over his shoulder. And then when Sesko backheel it to him, he fucking hits it fucking high and wide, and he had Ahmad and Mbemo on the right hand side, and we would have had an overload on that side as well. So that was a disappointing performance from Ugarte. I thought Bruno was not great today. He had a few good deliveries and a few nice passes. There was in the second half, Bayunder hit a long ball. Bruno touched it around the corner and played in Mbemo, who Gabriel did well to get back to Mbemo. I just feel Bruno in the 8 in a 2-man midfield, it's going to be a big problem this season. Obviously the Carlos Baleba deal isn't happening. We're going to have to find an alternative, because if Amorim is going to stick with this 3-4-3 with a 2-man midfield, we don't have the profiles to play a 2-man midfield. Casemiro and Bruno, you need a third man in there. I think Bruno can be a very good central midfielder as long as he has 2 others with him in a 4-3-3. If he's in a 2, I honestly don't think it's going to cut it. They did well, Bruno, Casemiro. I expected a lot more out of Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard. I thought they would have dominated the ball today, especially against a Casemiro Bruno midfield. I was really impressed with our wing backs actually, especially Dorgu. Dorgu last season, I didn't think he was much of a player, but he's had a good pre-season. He had a really nice shot in the first half as well, but he was a very good outball as well, which kind of helped our midfield, because when Arsenal were pressing, Dorgu was making nice runs. Dalot was a bit more quiet than Dorgu. Dorgu was nice going forward. But yeah, as losses go, it's not terrible. Like, it's a loss. It's something we're accustomed to, unfortunately, especially last season. It's not the way we wanted to start the league season, but there are bright sparks. We dominate possession. I think we had 61% possession to Arsenal's 39%. We had more shots. But Arsenal, in fairness to Arsenal, they were never under the cosh. Like, we were never like absolutely pummeling them with shots and chances. We pushed them back successfully. We didn't create many open goal scoring opportunities. And Arsenal were bad. Like, I thought Arsenal were quite bad today. And maybe that's because we were better than usual. But also, I think if Arsenal were even like 15 to 20% better today, they would have probably put us away quite easily. And as for the keeper problems, I really think we need to focus on a keeper. We obviously need a midfielder as well, but a keeper is a big one. Onana isn't good enough. We know that. Bayundir isn't good enough. We also know that. Donnarumma is on the market by the looks of it. I know City are apparently looking to pounce if Ederson leaves, but we need him a lot more than City do. City have already got a keeper. They got Trafford from Burnley. We need a goalkeeper badly. I know Donnarumma, he's not great with his feet. I'm actually not the biggest fan of Donnarumma. I think last season, the Champions League, he was very good, but other than that, his PSG career has been kind of underwhelming. But there's no doubt he's a better box commander and shot stopper than Onana. I also found the ball didn't fall for us in the box at all. That could just be one of those things, like, it's not a huge deal really. Like, some weeks it'll happen, some weeks it won't. But you can't really look too deep into those things. There was times where Mbeumo and Cunha were just like on the wrong foot and it just didn't quite land. And part of that is Arsenal's defending as well. I thought Arsenal defended quite well. Saliba and Gabriel looked kind of shaky in the first half, but in the second half they were much more assured and back to their normal self. Another thing I noticed as well was the back three looked quite good. Yoro looks like a really good player. I really hope he can have a full injury-free season. Luke Shaw, I mean, it's the same story with Shaw every single year. If he can stay fit, he can be good for us. It's now very evident that his best position is in a back three, the left-hand side of a back three. He can't go up and down like someone like Dorgu can now, not anymore. But sometimes when I'm lying awake at night, I think of the 2021 Luke Shaw season. But injuries have just ruined him. And if he can stay fit. The guy's been here, I think this might be his 10th or 11th season now. He's pretty much never had a fully injury-free season, so I don't think he's going to have one now, considering his age and how long he's been in the game. But if we can even have him for 70% of our minutes in the league this season, he can be a really good option as the left-hand side of centre-back. So hopefully Shaw can stay fit. I know we have Lissandra coming back as well. De Ligt was good against Gyökeres. Gyökeres was a bit shit today. It's his first game, but he looks bulky and kind of out of shape, to be completely honest. But that's not our problem, that's Arsenal's problem. And he might turn out to be a great striker, who knows. Sesko had a few nice flick-ons and stuff. I mean, it's his first game. He was only on the pitch for 25 minutes. But he is a big responsibility this season, because I can see Cunha and Mbeumo getting us goals. But we can see in the first half, as good as Mount played, we do need a focal point in the system. And it's going to have to be Sesko. Højlund's gone. Xerxes. I think Xerxes is good when the game is like not working, plan A isn't working, and you can bring Xerxes in, who can kind of maybe, with his back to goal, slow down the game a bit more, pin some centre backs, bring the midfielders into play. But it's no question that Sesko is going to be our plan A, and we need to get him settled quickly. Next weekend we have Fulham at Craven Cottage. I will be uploading a match preview for that with my lineup, my predictions, all that kind of stuff. It was nothing new in terms of the loss. We lost today. We got to accept that. We got to move on. There were positives to take, but there's an asterisk beside it, and the asterisk is that Arsenal were really poor. So I know I've seen some people online get a bit excited saying, okay, this is a lot better from United, and it was definitely a lot better, but that was a really poor Arsenal team today, in my opinion. So I wouldn't get too carried away with the performance. Some nice individual flashes and moments. We just couldn't piece that final ball together. That's kind of just a very disorganized match reaction. It's only been about 3 hours since the game ended, so it's still a very raw reaction. I've wrote down a few notes I wanted to talk about. I think I've covered most of them. It's kind of all over the place though. But hey, it's my first video on the channel, so it's probably a bit disorganized. Hopefully it'll get a bit more organized going forward. I will be doing a preview for a Fulham match midweek. If all our players can be better than last season, we should be aiming for top 5, in my opinion. I think we have the squad to do it. Amram has a lot of questions to answer. I like the guy, he's charming. Everyone seems to be drawn to him, which I am also. But you got to win football matches. That's what it's about. If he doesn't win football matches, he's going to go. If he has no real improvement on last season, we're going to be in big trouble. So he's going to have to pull us up. I'm not too angry with the result today. I'm disappointed. I think we could have snatched a draw out of it. It doesn't feel like last season's losses. Last season's losses just were filled with despair and hopelessness. Whereas there's a bit more of a light at the end of the tunnel with this one. And I hope next week at Craven Cottage we can actually finish our chances. We're not going to have a new goalkeeper by next weekend, unfortunately, but hopefully we can just keep Fulham as far away from our box as possible. Set pieces look like they're going to be a big problem as well, so that's going to be a target for them and for teams going forward, unless we sign a Donnarumma or another goalkeeper. And we also, I think we need a midfielder. Like, looking at that, our midfield options in the midfield too, Baliba would be really good. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen this summer. It might happen next summer, but I don't think we can wait. We need to sign someone this window to play in midfield. Someone who's suited to playing in a 2, who has the legs to cover the distance and the athleticism to go up and down and receive the ball in the half turn. It's a lot to ask. It's not going to be cheap, but needs must. This is the biggest football club in the world, so we need to have the best players and the biggest players who can not hide, can show for the ball, take the ball, move the ball. And one midfield signing and one goalkeeper signing I think is needed before the end of the window. So yeah, that's kind of about it for this this ramble. It's been a long ramble, but it's first game of the season. I'm optimistic. I'm more excited about this season than I have been for a United season probably since Ten Hag came in. I was quite excited for Ten Hag's first season. The last 2 seasons I've not been excited at all, so I've got a bit of excitement back. We have exciting individuals in our team. Arsenal, I think, hey, look, I don't know if they deserve the win. I think a draw would have been a fair result, but considering how bad Arsenal were, the fact they still managed to come out with the win, you kind of got to hand it to them, unfortunately, as much as I hate those guys. Like, Liverpool are like the Antichrist, but just below them you kind of have City and Arsenal kind of fighting for it. Yeah. But yeah, that is the end of my first video on the Stretford view. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll be having lots of content throughout this year. Let me know what you think about the result in the comments below. What you think was going to be our story of the season, if we're going to be able to progress, if it's going to be better than last season, if it's going to be worse than last season, who you're looking forward to watching, what are your thoughts for the game against Fulham going forward. And yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.